Hello there, this is going to be part 2 of a story, so if you haven't seen the first part yet, go watch that one first, or else you'll be confused at how we got to this point. Also, please leave a like, and please subscribe. We're slowly creeping towards that 1000 milestone, but with that out of the way, let's get back into the story. A few years have now passed, and Anakin is now 15 years old. Slave 1 comes out of hyperspace and approaches Concord Dawn. It lands and Jango Fett approaches the training grounds and stands next to Kron Rao. Anakin is surrounded and fighting hand to hand against multiple opponents. Jango is impressed at the progress and comments on Anakin's reflexes, and Kron tells him he was meant to be a Jedi, but he decided not to do so, and came here instead. Jango watches on as Anakin kicks his last standing opponent to the ground. Anakin looks up to see Jango and smiles as he runs over. The two bump Beskar wrists, and Jango tells Anakin to walk with him. Jango tells Anakin he thinks he's ready to start bounty hunting if he wants to do so, and Anakin is excited to hear this and says yes. Jango is pleased and says he's got a mission, and Anakin can tag along. The two board the ship and enter hyperspace. In hyperspace, Jango briefs Anakin, telling him they're going to Cato Nemoidia for an aristocrat that hasn't been repaying his loans to the banking clan. Their objective is to deliver him alive to Scipio. The ship comes out of hyperspace and lands on a mountain just beneath the city. The two exit the ship and Jango brings out a small crate and carries it to the edge of the cliff. The two put down their rangefinders and Jango gives Anakin the coordinates for the target's mansion. Jango asks Anakin what he sees, and Anakin replies telling him that he sees a massive mansion surrounded by battle droids. Jango follows up asking what his plan is, and Anakin hesitates in confusion, and tells Jango they can storm in through the roof of the building. They won't be expecting it. Then they can blast any droids they get in their way. Jango looks to Anakin and nods his head, and says no. Jango tells Anakin what he sees. He sees an overconfident, arrogant, spoilt rich man's ego, which they can exploit. Anakin looks over intrigued, and Jango walks over to the crate they brought, and opens it up. Anakin looks inside to see a B-1 battle droid crouched in the crate. Jango points to it, telling Anakin that this is their inside man. Anakin asks what their plan is, and Jango says they're just going to ring the doorbell. The scene now cuts to Jango and Anakin walking through the streets and approaching the mansion. The two stand in front of the door and are stopped by two battle droids. Jango says they have business with their master, and they come on the behalf of the banking clan to collect his debt. The droids relay the information through the comms, and the droids allow them to pass. The two walk through the door and see many battle droids around the mansion. Jango asks if he still thinks storming in was a good idea, and Anakin doesn't reply. The two walk into a dining room and sit opposite the aristocrat. He greets them and explains that he already told the banking clan that the money was coming, but his own client was being slow on payments. Jango then snarkily tells him that he should understand the banking clan's position on the matter. The aristocrat asks them how much the banking clan is paying them, and he's prepared to pay them above their rate. Jango tells him they don't break deals and stands up. The battle droids guarding the doors and stood in the corner of the room raise their blasters. Jango tells him he's going to have to take him into the banking clan, and the aristocrat tells him he's not in any position to make demands. At that moment, all of the battle droids in the room shut down, and Jango smirks, telling him, the aristocrat, that it appears that he is. It's then revealed that Jango's B-1 has shut down the droids from the mansion control center, and is now blasting the controls before it's taken out by Nemoidian security personnel. Jango and Anakin raise their blasters and tell him to get walking. They walk through the halls, and the aristocrat says they'll regret this, and he has powerful friends in the Trade Federation. They exit the mansion and are blocked by a squad of Nemoidian security. Anakin asks what now, and Jango tells Anakin to relax. Jango shouts that if they're smart, they'll allow him to pass, as he pushes one of his pistols into the aristocrat's back. The aristocrat tells them to do as he says, and they move aside. The two of them deliver the aristocrat to the banking clan and receive their payment in full. The two enter the ship and enter hyperspace. The ship exits on Tatooine, and Anakin is shocked. He asks Jango what they're doing there, and Jango gives Anakin his share, plus a bonus to give him enough money to free his mother. Anakin is lost for words, and Jango tells him it's fine. The ship lands, and Anakin walks out into the streets of Mos Espa. He approaches Watto's shop and says he's looking for Shmi Skywalker. Watto looks over in confusion, and Anakin removes his helmet. Watto is surprised to see Anakin grown up, and a Mandalorian now. Anakin repeats his question, and Watto leads him where Shmi is cleaning an astromech droid. Anakin looks to Shmi with tears in his eyes, and Shmi does the same to Anakin, and the two embrace. Anakin wastes no time and offers Watto all of his earnings for Shmi, and Watto agrees. The two catch up, and Shmi tells Anakin he's proud of him. He leads her back to the ship, and Shmi greets Jango and he nods to her. Jango asks Anakin where he wants to take her, and Anakin gives a thoughtful look to Shmi before telling Jango to take them to Mandalore. Jango shrugs and agrees. Shmi asks why Mandalore, and Anakin says because the planet is now under pacifist rule. The weapons are controlled, and Sundari is now a utopia of peace, and after the time she's had, it's what she deserves. Slave 1 lands on Mandalore, and Anakin and Shmi exit the ship and are stopped by Mandalorian guards. Anakin greets them and informs them that he's a protector of Concord Dawn, and he requests an audience with the Duchess Satine. The guards initially refuse him, as he's not there on official business, but then he tells the guards to let her know it's the youngling that visited her 5 years ago with Master Kenobi. The guards relay the message, and they let them pass. Anakin and Shmi approach Satine in the throne room, and Satine gets up and greets them. Satine is happy to see that Anakin had grown into the strong, honourable man that Obi-Wan saw in him, and asks what she can do for him. Anakin only asks for one simple favour, that Shmi be given citizenship, a home, and a job in Sundari, and Satine smiles and tells him that it shall be done. Anakin moves Shmi into a new home, and Shmi thanks Anakin for all of his help. Anakin stays for as long as he can before Jango contacts him saying he has to leave soon. Anakin says goodbye to his mother for now, and leaves to join Jango on another mission. And that is where this part ends. Thank you guys very much for watching. Obviously, if you like this video, please subscribe and go watch some of my other stuff, because I really need those watch hours and subscriptions to get monetized. Next week, we're going to be reaching Attack of the Clones in the timeline, so stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for my next live stream, but until then, guys, may the Force be with you, may the Power protect you, bye.